So here we are today for the cylinder heads. We're going to put the heads on there with the rocker arms and the head gaskets and move it onto the block. So let's get to it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fit the valves to the cylinder heads here. They're see-through, which is good, but you should be able to see that there. These are the cylinder heads that will go on top of the pistons. So what we have here, we've got the springs here for the rockers, which should be really cool. That should be really realistic. So let's go ahead and put these on. Here we have the valve stems, which will go in at the top. We also have the inlet valves. You can see that there, the inlet valve. So this is where the fuel will come in. And then we have the bigger ones, which is the exhaust valve, which will then go in and let all the exhaust fumes out. And we also have here the springs, which is what will help keep them closed until it's pushed in. So let's put them on. Very careful not to lose the springs. Oh. Larger one for larger holes. Nice and delicate. Alright, well there we go. So we have all the 4 exhaust valves through. The springs on there, that's pretty cool. Works very well. Now we put the injection valves through. So there you go. One big one, one little one. So there we go, one side done, all valves are in, all work very good, all nice and soft, so there shouldn't be too much power required to put them in and out. Very cool actually, that should work very, very well. We'll do the other side. So now we need to put on here is the rocker arm. So we've got the metal rod here, which is good. It's nice and strong. I think this part's going to get a lot of use. And we have 16, so 8 on each side for each of the valves that we have down here. And we're going to put these on one way, and then one the other way. And then we can move on. Now what we need to do is we need to fit them to the upper cylinder heads, which I have here, which is the top of the cylinders on here. It is very, very important that you get these the correct way. So we're going to put them on and A, so it's all diagrammed out. You can see here it's actually all diagrammed out for you to have a look at. But what we need to do is we need to make sure that arms A have the long side. So this is B and this is A. So for A, we need to have the long side. So you can see they've got a long side and a short side. So the long side needs to be all the way to the left. So we should be able to fit these on here. Space it out with your fingers. There we go, so we have it all sitting flat now, and what we do is we use these, they're called bearings, or bearing caps, and these will go on there to make sure that they hold the rockers down. We're getting shorter on these screws here, so we'll screw them in. I think we're on a roll, so let's assemble the engine. Yeah! So we've got head gaskets here. Now they are just cardboard head gaskets, I guess. Normally on your cars they'll actually be rubber and proper. You know, you can get some real expensive ones. They are a very important part on your real car. It keeps the oil inside the engine. If you look at your car and you've normally got an engine leak, it's normally your head gasket or one of the gaskets around the engine that actually is used to hold it in. It can be a bit of a process to change it on a real car, but they're a very cheap part. It's normally labour that will cost you that part on that repair, but this is really cool. They've actually given you the head gaskets. I mean, I know they're just paper or cardboard, but I think it's really, really cool and it's really realistic. So let's put these on. I need to make sure that, because they do come with that, make sure that you pop out any of the bits of paper that they have in there. So that one's all good. Now they should have holes to line up. And on over that peg. Brilliant. What we can do now is we can go and put these cylinder heads on, so the gasket will hold any oil in here, around here, and stop the fuel and all that kind of stuff. So it's a very important part of the engine. Let's go ahead and put this on. So now finally, before putting the rocker covers on, we need to do the camshaft. Now these are parts of the camshaft here, and what happens is, as you can see here, so this is going to lock on here. It's a bit hard to tell, but there's actually a flat side on this. It's not perfectly round, there's a flat side, and if you can see through that hole there, there's actually a flat side in there as well. So what will happen is when this turns, each one of these knocks a different part on here, which will then obviously push down each valve, and then spring back up. So this is very important, and it's very important to make sure that you get things in the right order. Otherwise it's all going to be off and you're going to have exhaust open while fuel's open, and you know, it's just not going to work. So what they've done is on the model kit they've labeled A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you just go ahead and put that on in that order. So I'll do it now, then we can put it on top of here and we basically have our engine built. We just then need to put the belts and the shafts on there and everything like that. But we're getting really close, guys. It's getting exciting. So there we go, we have our two camshafts. As you can see, they are both quite a little bit different. Now it's very important to get these in the right order, the same on your real car, because what happens is that's going to determine which cylinders are firing at which time, and make sure that they all work together in the V shape. You mean, you don't want one going while the other ones aren't. You get, you know, shake in your engine. They've got to go at the same time, or the correct time. So it's very important to get these part right, but we've got that right. Let's add it to the engine. Making sure we have everything the right way and in the right place, we can go and add the shaft just here. You may have to manipulate or move a little bit. Alright. And now we can fit the cylinder heads, making sure that they go on nice and evenly. We've got to make sure that these are all at the top. There's one side. Make sure these are all... Yep, good. Other side. So there we go, that's it for this episode. We've got it all. Look at that, it's getting to be an engine right now. We've got everything on there looking good, all working, which is fantastic, which is great. Yep. So next episode will be the last episode, or potentially the second last episode, because what I'll do in the next episode is we'll put it all together, we'll get it running, and then I may come back and do a whole nother one where I've spray painted it and put in some real colours and some real shine, and, you know, really do up the engine. But thanks for watching this episode. Stay tuned for the next one.